Hello, everyone. My name is Thomas, and well, time for another episode of Crypto News, sponsored by, you guessed it, FatFi.com, one of the most transparent crypto platforms there are out there. So let's get into it.
Almost 4 years after Donald Trump called it, quote, a disaster waiting to happen, the president is now all in on crypto. The New York Times has this unbelievable piece out about how Trump has become a monster player and a policymaker in one of the least transparent industries out there, crypto. With me now to discuss one of the authors of that piece, Eric Lipton.
It's funny how they talk about transparency. Always hilarious to me. They say the least transparent, not because of facts, but because, well, they said it. So it must be true because they said it. Even though banks are transparent, how again? Hmm. Questionable, right? Here we go.
Investigative reporter for the New York Times, and Dan Nathan, CNBC contributor and co-host of the Risk Reversal podcast. You know, before we started, Eric, Dan and Stephanie, you're all over the crypto. It's not the crypto that I'm all over. It is the massive conflict of interest. Scott Galloway said it recently. It's like these 100 days, what have we seen the most of? Executing pure grift. I want you to walk us through, what did you learn about Trump?
Now, that's an interesting word, a grift and conflict of interest. So the Federal Reserves are supposed to be literally a private institution created for the people, right? But the chairman of the Federal Reserves is decided upon by the people? No, they're decided upon by the government. And grift is a good word for crypto. Why? Let's keep it moving.
Trump's platform that he's built, because at the same time, he is the chief policymaker.
Yeah, it really is pretty extraordinary. Simultaneously, Trump is appointing the top financial regulators in the United States, and he has built one of the fastest growing and really, quickly emerging as one of the largest stablecoin players in the world. And so he is simultaneously both the regulator and the regulated. And he
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. The regulator and the regulated. Hmm. Let's just keep going.
He has just really historically massive conflicts of interest here that just don't have very many precedents in American history. And, the deeper you look at World Liberty Financial, the more complex and troubling really the conflicts are. And so what we try to do is, this is less of a story about the cryptocurrency industry and more of a story about this operation and some of the challenges it presents to being both the regulator and the regulated.
Let's talk about that, though, because I can't get over the fact that they literally are sitting here talking about the regulator and the regulated. And I have to push back for the Federal Reserves, who is literally supposed to be a private institution, but is managed by the United States government, which gives them more access to your money than anything. To me, this sounds like a whole big a plan to try to, and look at her smug face, bro. I'm sorry. Anyway, it got me. The smugness on the other face, it's like, oh yeah, we got you. Okay, we can change the narrative on this. We're gonna push back on this one. You're poor. I'm talking about you. We are broke. Why? Because of stupidity like this. Literally dumb information that goes out. Here's the thing. The government has no access to your crypto. They have access to your bank's account, your bank accounts. They have access to your money. They literally can come in and take money out your wallet. They've done it. But they have no access to your crypto. And yet they want you to believe, they literally want you to believe that everything they do is above board, while crypto, who gives you more control of your money, who gives you more access of your money, is bad. Oh, it's bad for you to have more control over your money. You need to abide by the rules and regulations, by the rules and regulators who regulate the rules and regulation and create the platforms that they rule and regulate. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm not making sense. Here's the deal. And we're just talking about the Federal Reserves. Literally, the Federal Reserves is supposed to be private, right? It's supposed to be a private institution. At least that's what they say. But they regulate it. They control it. They built the narrative. They tell how much the interest rates would be. And that's different from crypto because, or let's put it like this, that's more transparent than crypto. Really? Let's keep it going.
Dan, the industry hated the former SEC chair, Gary Gensler. They felt like he was completely anti-crypto, but one of the reasons was he truly understood the industry, right? It's like if Meadow Soprano became the chief of police, it would be bad for business if you're in the mob. But in the case of World Liberty Exchange, right? This is Trump's crypto platform. It's filled with foreign investors.
Right. So the big concern there is, right, this is like the perfect Ponzi scheme, if you will. If you have this thing.
Yes, I will.
And you can't really track a whole heck of a lot that goes on there, despite it being on a blockchain, right? If you're a foreign sovereign, and you could just invest in this thing, you put it in, and how this company makes money is through interest, through transaction fees and the like here. So obviously the more money that goes.
You heard that? How this company makes money through transaction fees. Sounds like a bank. Similar. Could be. I mean, the Federal Reserve makes money through transaction fees, right? Banks make money through transaction fees, right? Now, here's the thing. When he says, okay, about, when they say talk about, I guess I'm paraphrasing here, tracking, all right? Because they can't put a face to the number. The transparency is there. Your crypto wallet is registered. They just can't put a face to the name. So they don't know how much money you got. They just know, oh, there's a lot of money in this wallet, but they just don't know who owns that particular wallet, as it should be. They have no business they have no business in your pockets.
Into it, the better it is for the Trump organization. I think I read, and maybe it was in Eric's piece, which was epic, by the way, that 30 or 40% of his net worth right now is tied up in this kind of crypto grift, if you will. So again, I just don't believe.
And there go that word, crypto grift. Come on, folks. Yeah. I think you guys should look up grift. All right. I mean, because here's the thing: you got two people who are probably wealthy, all right, making their money off of traditional banks, all right, doing their thing. And they want you to believe that it's okay to be broke. It's okay to not have money. It's okay to struggle to pay your bills. It's okay to not be able to feed your family. It's okay. It's okay for the government to be able to dictate how much money you have in your pocket. Literally, that's all this is. All they're saying is that it is okay for the government to be able to know and control what's in your pocket.
Believe I've been in financial markets for a very long time, and I think the norms that you guys are talking about really existed for traditional financial assets and the like. And he made it very clear in his first administration he just doesn't really care about that. I just think for the most part people are not going to care about this either, unfortunately, until possibly his voters, his people actually are on the flip side of this when it goes south. And it will go south. If you just go back and you look at all the crypto assets that have existed, right, since it's been created. I think Bitcoin was created in 2009 or so. 95% 5% of them have gone the way of the dodo. That means like there's been grifters who've actually sold.
That's not true. 95% have not gone the way to the dodos. In fact, and no matter what people say, there are a lot of people who've made a lot of money. In fact, even though it may not be a high percentage, but it's not a 95% loss. If that was the case, then people like Elon Musk or other, you might hate Elon Musk all you want to, but he understands the value of crypto. In fact, a lot of most wealthy people understand the value of crypto. These people are talking to you, people at home, all right, who don't understand what the value of crypto is, who these are fear mongers, literally fear mongers. They're perpetuating fear, a stereotype of something that just doesn't exist. Stocks, bonds, there's a risk in just about everything you do. But when this guy throws out a number, 95% of losses is not true. It is not true. Look at this. It is not true, but you would choose to believe it. Why? Because he said it, right? A white man with a big nose, some small lips, he must know something nobody else does. And instead of you going out there and figuring it out for yourself, you let people like this dictate to you what you should have in your pocket. Say what you will about Trump. You may not like him. A lot of his policies I don't like. But this is the one thing that I truly say the people, can benefit from. And if you let these folks dictate to you on how you should be able to make your money, they will dictate to you on how much money should be in your pocket. They're already doing so. Every time you lose money, every time you have to pay extra taxes on a whole bunch of extra stuff, and you're overly taxed, very poorly incentivized, and because they don't have to incentivize you. They could just tell you, pay this tax and be done with it. And you'll go to jail if you don't pay that tax. Let's keep going.
Taking the money out, and then they call them the bag holders and everyone else who basically watches this stuff go to zero. So I'm pretty confident that a lot of these other assets will do that. Just think about this. When Trump is out of office, do you think there'll be any demand like for these, cryptos, that these meme coins and the like that he's involved in? I would say probably not.
Eric, what was your biggest takeaway here?
He's probably right, because just like today, they're boosting you up with fear against crypto. And that's what they're doing. They're literally trying to make you believe that crypto is bad. Let's take a moment and look at the smug face on this woman. Just take a look at the smug face. She thinks she's better than you. She thinks she's literally got you in a place to where you're going to believe in her, and maybe you will. Maybe more than likely, most of you will, in my opinion, and it's just strictly my opinion. But if you're smart, if you really, really pay attention, you'll see that these people, they could care less about you. And they just care about instilling their propaganda of fear when it comes down to crypto. Not all crypto is good, but they're definitely not all bad either. Let's keep it moving.
Here's how I got my team to use Monday Sales CRM and actually like it. Let me start by saying it's so easy to use that
I guess the biggest takeaway is just that actions that President Trump is taking as an executive in the White House are directly impacting his business operations now. And, again, it's just, the president is exempt from the federal conflict of interest law. The president and vice president are the only two executive branch officials that are technically exempt from that criminal statute. And so, they do have this ability to have conflicts of interest, and it is the privilege.
I'm tired. I'm tired of listening to a lot of this whitewashing, and that's what it is, literally whitewashing. White people trying to make you believe that, crypto is bad. It's the demon. It's just like when they said alcohol is bad. It's the demon. When they said, 420 is bad. It's the demon. Everything is bad that people tell it. They will try their best to control you, manipulate your pockets. And again, how do they control you? Is by manipulating your pockets. I can't make you. I know I could talk till I'm blue in the face, but if you're going to believe in this garbage, then okay, so be it. You may not think it's garbage. Maybe you lost a little bit of money in crypto. Who knows? I don't know. All I know is that the transparency is there. And for the right platform, in the right platform, you will be able to make some money. You should be able to make some money. Just make good decisions, better decisions. If you let these people dictate to you about your decision making, then you're always going to be busting your hump for little of nothing. It's time for a change. I really mean that. I really truly mean that it's time for a change. It's time for a change. Again, let me just make sure I make it clear. Crypto, the government or no one has access to your crypto. Only you have access to your crypto. So they can't go in and they can't say, give me that. They cannot. They have no access. And because they have no access, that means that they can't control you. They can't dictate to you how you should or can make your money. They can't do it. They have no abilities to control you, and you have every abilities to protect your money and yourselves. And believe me when I say this, this is what this is all about. Till next time.
Are you ready to take control of your financial future? Visit factfi.com today and unlock the tools to create your own economic freedom. Trade assets, explore crypto, and build wealth on your terms. No banks, no limits, just empowerment. Your journey to financial independence starts now. FatFi, freedom is just a click away.